Well, welcome to the channel, viewers. I'm Dr. JW Ayub. This is the Count Straight channel, and we're doing the Relational Narcissist series. This is episode 6, the Degeneration of Trust. In episode 5, we exposed how narcissistic erosion slowly reduces identity until a person becomes smaller, quieter, and less certain. But once identity begins weakening, the next target becomes even more dangerous: trust itself. Trust rarely dies in one dramatic betrayal. It more often degenerates through repeated contradiction, secrecy, instability, and emotional confusion. The relational narcissist damages trust by making reality unpredictable until the victim no longer knows whether to trust the narcissist, the relationship, or their own judgment. Teaching point number 1, viewers. Trust degenerates when words and actions separate. The relational narcissist often says what sounds right while repeatedly doing what proves otherwise. The victim becomes trapped between promises spoken and patterns repeated. Apologies without repair. Promises without behavioural change. Affection followed by emotional withdrawal. That's a big one. Affectionate followed by emotional withdrawal and sometimes physical withdrawal. A lot of covert narcissists just withdraw altogether. You don't know where they are, what they're doing, until they want to come back for more affection. Denial after obvious harm, and constant contradiction between words and actions. Teaching point number 2, viewers. Confusion becomes normalized. When trust disintegrates slowly, confusion begins feeling normal. The victim starts adapting to instability instead of confronting it, constantly waiting for mood shifts, feeling anxiety during peaceful moments. This is what happens to you. Not knowing where we stand with the narcissist, accepting emotional inconsistency. This is where they start to expose themselves, and living in anticipation of disruption. Teaching point number 3, viewers. Self-trust becomes the final casualty. The deepest form of trust degeneration occurs when the victim begins doubting their own perception, their own instincts, their memory and judgment. Maybe I heard it wrong. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I caused this. Maybe they didn't mean it. Or maybe I should let it go. Here's a practical example, viewers. A person catches their partner in a contradiction. The evidence is obvious, but the narcissist responds with denial, irritation, blame shifting, and projection. Instead of trusting what they clearly witnessed, the victim begins questioning themselves. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I'm creating problems. Maybe I'm too suspicious. And the contradiction's no longer external. It has now entered their internal reality. So let's reflect, viewers. Where have you stopped trusting your own perception because someone repeatedly contradicted your reality? Here's a resistance check. Are you ignoring repeated contradictions because admitting the pattern would force a painful decision? Have you accepted confusion as normal because clarity would expose instability? Do you keep trusting promises unsupported by changed behavior? Are you calling denial patience? Have you lowered your standards simply to preserve the relationship? Well, let's do a root cause check. Are you afraid that demanding consistency may trigger rejection or even abandonment? Have you been conditioned to doubt yourself before questioning others? Is this relationship activating older abandonment wounds? Do you believe loyalty means tolerating repeated instability and abuse? Have you become addicted to brief reassurance inside long periods of uncertainty? Well, let's take immediate action. Write down one repeated contradiction in the relationship. Create 2 columns. What was promised? What actually happened? And let the pattern speak without excuses, and I can assure you this works. Here's a proverb, viewers, as we come to a close. Better is painful truth that restores sight than comforting deception that blinds the heart. In closing, trust that is repeatedly damaged without repair eventually becomes fear disguised as loyalty. If this degeneration continues unchecked, a person may become emotionally dependent on the other individual, destabilizing their reality. The hidden cost is devastating. Instincts weaken, judgment hesitates, and clarity becomes replaced by chronic anxiety. Many people do not realize trust has collapsed until they are no longer making decisions from the truth, but from survival and appeasement. But when a person separates promises from patterns, they begin reclaiming their ability to see clearly again. A life built on truth will always outlast a relationship sustained by narcissistic deception. I'm Dr. JWAU. Please, if you can encourage me, like, share, subscribe, most of all comment some of your experiences, and I will see you in episode 7. When trust collapses, daily life begins losing structure. In episode 7, I expose how narcissistic relationships create disorganization until normal life becomes psychological and emotional chaos. Like, share, subscribe, share your experience, comment. I'll see you in the next episode when trust collapses.